Okay, well here we are today with a great wheel. This is also called a walking wheel, and it's a spindle wheel. It is just a spindle with no additional take-up mechanism like the other wheels have that were built after the 1500s. This is a very old design. I'm representing today the Daughters of Liberty, who were active in the late 1700s to promote our effort for independence from Great Britain. And this wheel, originally, this same style would have been present in households in that time without this mechanism right here. It would be direct drive simply to a spindle whorl right here. This mechanism came about right after the turn of the century in about 1810. This particular wheel is owned by the Daughters of the American Revolution Rainier House. It's in Seattle, and it's a copy of Mount Vernon, George Washington's estate on the East Coast. So this wheel has been restored by a local cabinet maker, retired, who specializes in restoring wheels for us. He's done 6 antique wheels so far. This is the first one he's done that is this style, the Great Wheel, and it is also the first one that is a spindle wheel. One of his other restorations is currently in the DAR Museum in Washington, D.C., and it was previously owned by Admiralty Inlet Chapter organizing regent Heather Gilden. It is on display and could be seen in an exhibit this last Christmas that was done by the DAR Museum online. So this wheel, what has been added that were parts that were missing is this sliding peg right here that adjusts the tension of the drive band. There's one drive band that goes all the way around the wheel and comes up to the back side of this large whorl right here. And this whorl then accelerates the spindle so that you get even more twist. This whole business here is original, but there was a nut on the bottom right here that was restored. The sliding peg was restored, and the 2 positioning screws that are wood screws were also made from scratch. So this piece and the 2 on each side are the new additions to match this old wheel. So I'm going to show you right now how the wheel spins and what the action is for working it. So one hand, your left hand, does the drawing out and the holding of the thread. The right hand spins the wheel. And I don't know if you can hear it, but there's the slightest little clicking sound that comes off the end of the spindle as it goes around. And as I walk backwards, which is why it's called a walking wheel, the fibers are drawn out of the mass. Getting back to a position that is just about 3 steps away, I then reverse the wheel just the slightest, bringing the yarn over to a position where I can wind it on. And then I wind it on right next to the spindle whorl, which was also a new addition. That isn't a necessary one, but is very useful for keeping the yarn in place. And then to go back to spinning again, I simply pinch it a little, get the draw started, turn the wheel, and start walking backwards. It's a very gentle move, and I can draw back as I go until I have what I like for the yarn. Then I turn the wheel just a quarter of a turn to get the yarn ready to wind on, and then I wind it back on. And that's how a spindle wheel works.